What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back. Force here with some more MTG 2013 Multiplayer. Holy heck, what a terrible opening hand. And no thank you, sir. Draw a new hand. Alright, we'll take that. Alright, welcome back, guys. We're going to be playing the mill deck, Mind Sculpt, the blue deck. And Paul, 2010, gets to play first. 210, Paul 210 gets to play first. And I got an okay hand here. Looks like we're playing against a green deck. Alright, so the premise of this deck is really not so much to try to kill my opponent as it is to try to run them out of cards. And we'll see how this goes over. I'm excited. I'm excited. We're going to start off with an island, place down a crab. This is a 0-2. It's got landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under my control, target player puts the top 3 cards of his or her library into his or her graveyard. So remember, the entire point of my deck is to run them out of cards. I'm going to show you what I have here. 1 land for a 1/1 flying. It gets +4/+4 as long as the opponent has 10 or more cards in their graveyard. Of course, he opens up with the friggin' 3/2. Why wouldn't he? Also got Mind Control. I control enchanted creature for 5. Counter spell. They draw a card, I draw a card. And then Mind Sculpt. Target player puts the top 7 cards of his or her library into his or her graveyard. Turn 2, let's go ahead and place down an island. A land comes into play, he has to get rid of the top 3 cards in his graveyard. And then, I'm gonna, which way should I do it? You know, I'd probably play him first, and then next turn I can Mind Sculpt him, and then he'll become a 5/5 at that point. So that'll be good. I'll have that in play. Can do some blocking, can do some attacking if I so desire. Yeah, that'll be good. That'll put him at over 10. So perfect. All right, so again, the idea is to survive long enough to run him out of cards and win the game because he has no more cards. Of course he plays this. It's really annoying. Oh god, equipped creature has Shroud and Haste, meaning that what's gonna happen in the future, he's gonna attack me for 3, I'll let it go through. What's gonna happen in the future is he'll be able to play a creature and then immediately equip him with that, making it so that I can't target him, and it has haste so he can attack a second it comes into play, as opposed to, you know, creatures normally with Summoning Sickness can't attack right away, yada yada yada. Play a land, he mills 3. And then, do I Mind Sculpt now? Should I wait for a counter spell? You know, I can wait. I can hold this off till later because really, what next turn? He's only got 3 mana. I want to save this for a big creature. And unfortunately, it's going to be hard for me to Mind Control something. He's going to have 2 creatures in play, one of which won't be equipped with Lightning Greaves because I can't Mind Control something that is. We will Mind Sculpt him though, so we'll do that now. All right, and now he's down to 39 cards, and now I've got a 5/5. So. You know, I could save it to block or I could attack. I'm actually going to attack because we might be able to kill him this game. Now that since we got a 5/5 so early. So the goal of the deck isn't so much to run him down to 0 life, but it can be accomplished, especially with this card. The main reason I really run this is really for blocking purposes and just to have something, just to have some sort of creatures. I could have just removed them completely, but... Alright, so he's gonna swing for 3. Yada, yada, yada. That brings me down. He didn't play land this turn, so he might be mana screwed, and that would be pretty huge for me, to be honest. That'd be really huge if he's mana screwed here. Let's see if he plays a land second main phase. No! Ooh! Ooh, 2/10 Paul's mana screwed, and that means I'm in a very strong position. I landfall. He's down to 35 cards, and, you know what? I think I'm gonna... I've got 2 counter spells, so the next 2 things he tries to play are done. I think I'm just gonna win by killing him this game, actually, believe it or not. Which is surprising for me, because again, it's really not supposed to happen. So unless he plays something that can't be countered, which I don't think he has, except for like a Terror Stomper, and that costs a ton, so that's not coming until later in the game. So this is good for me. And he's gonna Lightning Greaves that guy so that I can't target him, since it has Shroud now. Not a big deal though. Yeah, wow. Alright, well this is gonna be an easy win for the first game here in this video. Because he really can't do anything. He just got mana screwed, unfortunately enough for him. So, that means a win for me. Without question here. Guaranteed victory this game. Another island. Dropping him down. We're gonna kill him by damage though. Which again is not really what's supposed to happen, but Alright, so even if he plays a land and tries to play some creature this turn, that will get counterspelled, whatever he tries to play. Probably Dream Fracture. There we go, so he gets a land finally. Let's see if he even had anything to play with that land. Yep, he's gonna try to play something. And I'm gonna counterspell it. This is hexproof. I counterspell, draw a card. I did the Dream Fracture, which had me draw a card. And this is why he loses. There you go. Now he is toast. Mill him even more. Still got another counterspell. Could play the Howling Mine. I really don't see the point. Because I'm just going to attack for 5 and that's that. Let's do that. Attack for 5 for the win. And very easy game number 1. Unfortunately, again, 210 Paul got mana screwed. I had still another counterspell to spare. And there's the victory. All right, let's go on to game number 2. All right, next game here, this time against Neffy's. Again with the Dream Puppets mill deck. Let's see how this game goes. Opening hand, gosh. Why does everyone else always get to play first? He's so sad. Yeah, that's a better looking hand. That is a nice hand. All right, we're gonna keep hand. 2 islands, got a Mind Control. Control enchanted creature for 5. Thought Scour 1, target player puts the top 2 cards of his or her library in his or her graveyard plus draw a card. Is it 2 or 3? I think it's actually, it is just 2. Unsummon, return target creature to its owner's hand. Counterspell for 2. And a Mind Sculpt, 7 cards from player's library into the graveyard. So really, really good start. I could start off with the Phantasm. I'm actually against another blue deck. I'll be interested to see which one it is. I think I'm going to start off with the Phantasm. We'll try to start getting some early damage in. Thought Scour can hold off for a minute. For a minute or 2. Lots of instants here. Thought Scour, Unsummon, and Counterspell, of course, are all instants. So these are things that, you know, if I hold off, I can decide if I need to counterspell something. If not, I can go ahead and throw down a Thought Scour at the end of the turn, which is likely what the game plan will be here. So I won't do anything here. I will attack for 1 though. And I'm gonna hold off on the Thought Scour and Unsummon to see if I need to counterspell next turn, anything. If not, then I'll probably just Thought Scour him. Really interested to see which blue deck he's running here. Alright, plays an 0-4. That really does nothing. That doesn't hurt me at all, so I'm just gonna let that go through. The end step there, I am going to go ahead and Thought Scour him, forcing him to mill 2 cards and I draw a card. He is going to Mana Leak that. Okay. Fair enough. I'm not really super concerned. It would have been nice to draw a card there, but that's really not a huge deal for me, to be honest. And in fact, I mean, there's much more dangerous things that he should have saved a Mana Leak for, but I don't know, maybe he's got tons of counters in his hand, so. Now I'm just gonna attack for 1 here. And I'm trying to think if I should hold off for a counterspell or throw down a Mind Sculpt. I guess I can wait here. So we're gonna hold off for a counterspell. In case it is necessary, in case he tries to do something that would be very detrimental to my well-being. What is this? Okay, so he's gonna play this to get back his Mana Leak. I am going to counter that, actually. I don't want him to get that Mana Leak back in his hand. I really need mana bad. I'm getting mana screwed. It's like a role reversal from last game. Eeh, boy, not good, not good. I got an Into a Royal that if I pay the kicker for, I can draw a card. I can't really afford the kicker. I'm gonna Mind Sculpt him now. Bring him down to 49 cards. He's down to 49? How many cards did he have in his deck to start? I'm sitting at 63 cards in this deck. I'm sitting a little bit above, pretty much where I should be at 60, but we're slowly whittling away. He's down to 17. Oh boy. He plays, there it is. He's gonna get 2/2/2 flyers now. So now he's got a blocker. Now, I do have, my thing's a 5/5 now though, so. Why didn't it let me, it's really annoying. All right, whatever. I'm gonna swing for 5. Because because now he's got 10 more cards in his graveyard. He's probably gonna block one of them. Now let's go through. Okay. And then my end. Oh, geez. I want to Thought Scour. Okay. I didn't get a land to play. That's what I was hoping for, basically. He is going to play. What is this? Enchant creature. Beginning of your upkeep, put a copy of enchanted creature into play. Fair enough. I can unsummon him. Okay. What I was going to do is I was going to use an unsummon on one of his tokens. What I'm going to do instead is I'm going to unsummon my own creature that will drop his enchantment off and throw it into the graveyard, and that way he's not getting copies of this creature, because that's the last thing I need him to have. Yeah, okay. Alright, so he's gonna do that. Attack for 4. Before the end of his turn, I'm going to unsummon my own creature. This brings the creature back to my hand. His enchantment drops. His enchantment would have had him getting copies of that creature consistently. That's not something that I would have wanted. So I drew into a land, which is good. Get my 5/5 back in play. I think I'm gonna hold off on doing that. I could draw a card. What could I do for 2? Nothing really. Use this to draw a card, or maybe I should wait a little bit for it. I can still into the Royal. I might just do that without kicker. Just to get one of his tokens back. Alright, let's see here. Let's see what else he's got going on. Nephews, who told me to stop pausing? F you, buddy. Alright, he's gonna attack for... Why is he attacking with the 0/4? That's weird. Draw a card for each creature attacking, sure. I'm gonna into the Royal without kicker one of his tokens. And then I'm gonna block his 2/2. Come on, there you go. Block his 2/2, so no damage goes through. He drew a couple cards, whatever. There we go. There it is, nice. I could try to throw down a Dreamborn Muse. He might have a counter, but I think that might be a risk I'm willing to take here. Let's see if he's got something. Mana leak? There it is. Oh well. Whatever. It's a risk I was willing to take. I still have, you know, now I've got mind control. If I just made him dump his counter, that increases the likelihood of my mind control going through. So that's a good thing, of course. And I swing for 5, bring him down to 7. Might win with damage again this time. It's a bummer. I really want to win by milling someone out, but might win again with damage. Fog Bank, that really cuts back on my chances of winning through damage. He's just going to be able to consistently block this guy. He's got 3 mana too, so he may be saving up some counter spells. Alright, so I got a couple of prosperities here, which I may actually throw down right now. Let me try. Attacking isn't really doing anything, he's just going to block it. So I attack my 5/5, he blocks it with his 2/2, Defender flying, and prevent all damage that would be dealt to it. If I can control it, fine. If I can get another creature in play, fine, but until then, really nothing doing. What I am going to do, though, is I'm going to try to throw down a prosperity for 3. Goes through. Okay, I got some stuff here. Got a Grindstone, which is glorious. Got a Unsummon and a Howling Mine. I think that's what I drew into there. It's got some good cards, and yeah, I'm feeling all right here. Feeling all right. He hasn't thrown down any huge threat. Throws down an Archaeomancer, which he's probably gonna pull back a Mana Leak. Deciding right now. Looks like, yep, pulls back a Mana Leak. So I need to save 3 if I try to play something that I don't want counter. Now I can bait him by, you know, trying to get him to counter something. So I could throw down my Grindstone. I could also throw down my Howling Mind as well. I can't play Mind Control. He will just guaranteed counter that. There's really nothing really big for me to Mind Control anyways. I've still got my Unsummon. Unsummon would be good, because I can unsummon his Fog Bank and then swing for 5. Really, you know, put the pressure on him. Let me do this. Let me play Grindstone first to see if he tries to mana leak. He could have, but I could have paid it, so, you know. And I'm going to take a chance by not saving mana for next turn. Well, I mean, I still might. I'm going to try to unsummon his Fog Bank. Now, he's probably going to try to mana leak it. I'll tap out if he really wants to go down that road. He's not going to. Unsummon goes through, and now he's going to take 5. He is going to try to return it to my hand, to which I'm going to say, nope, counterspell that with my Dream Fracture. He draws a card, I draw a card, and I hit him for 5, bringing him down to 2. Pressure's really on now for him. Pressure's really on. But he's going to replay the Fog Bank next turn, and so he's got his blocker. So I'm not going to be able to kill him now, but again, I still put him in that pressure situation where it's like, oh god, what do I do? You know, I guess make sure he can't get any more damage through at any point, or else plays another Fog Bank. That'll do the trick. Unreal. Unreal. Swings for 1. Okay. So double Fog Bank really hurts here. Definitely, I don't think killing him with damage is going to be an option. Now, this is still being held on to. I am waiting for the right time to do that. I can Grindstone him, which is pretty huge. Can also throw down a Howling Mine. He'll probably let this go through because he takes advantage of that as well. And actually, I'm just gonna Grindstone him now. So Grindstone's pretty awesome. Player reveals 2 cards. If both cards share same color, repeat the process. Sorry, he mills 2 cards. If they both share the same color, he repeats the process. So this means if there are no islands and he gets double blue, he keeps going, keeps going, keeps going, keeps going. And the goal is to try to mill him down as crazy far as possible, but it's all, of course, random based on his land spread and all that stuff. Let's see what he's going to do here. Rite of Replication, he's going to get himself a copy of that creature in play. And he is also going to play Sleight of Hand. Look at the top cards of his library. He's going to take 1. Now, he's still got mana for his mana leak, so I still have to be wary of that thing existing. I got another Jace's Phantasm, which is really good. And still got Prosperity. Each player draws X cards. Still have this. I'm gonna try to do this next turn in a situation where I can pay the mana leak. I need to pay 3 or else it's countered with mana leak. That's how it works. Yeah, so that's gonna be my game plan there. And I'm gonna let him go. I'm not going to Grindstone him yet. I want him to think that I've got stuff that could counterspell. I'm not gonna attack this turn either. So this is pretty big. The turn after this one's pretty big here. Let's see here. Plays Spiketail Hatchling, 1/1. He can sack it to counter a spell unless I pay 1. That gives him a backup to his mana leak. It's actually pretty big. That sets me back a turn trying to get Mind Control through. Knowing that he can mana leak and then Spiketail as well, which means I'll have to pay 3 for the mana leak and 1 for the Spiketail. So that means I need an extra 4 mana if I'm trying to get Mind Control through. Attack phase. He's gonna swing with the 5. Which, since I'm going to be trying to Mind Control it, I'm going to let it go through. I'm not going to block it yet. End step. Grindstone him. Let's see if we get a lot. Fingers crossed. No, not a lot at all. Alright. 8. I need 1 more to get this off fully here. He's at 24 cards. Oh gosh, this is kind of nerve-wracking. He's got 6 cards in his hand too, that's the other thing. Still got the Prosperity, which he can counterspell, he can mana leak. I could do it just for a few. I'm just say go for now. Just gonna say go for now. Right of replication. He's gonna play it again. I'm gonna respond by grindstone. And he's actually going to write his Archaeomancer, which is gonna let him get tons of cards from his graveyard. Or did he? No, he didn't do it with kicker. Okay, so he only gets one. And he's gonna take back what? He's gonna take a time warp, which got thrown into his graveyard. Time warp lets him take an extra turn. He's probably gonna try to play that now. Which, unfortunately, I have no counter spells, so I can't stop him from doing that. So he plays a time warp. Gets an extra turn after this one. So he's probably gonna swing for 5, which at this point I kind of have to block him really low, so. Yeah, I think here. Because I can still try to get through my whole thing next turn. Well, yeah, I'm gonna let it go through. Actually, you know what? No, because I have to block again because he gets another turn. Can I? Oh boy. He plays. Time stretch. Target player takes 2 extra turns after this one. Yeah, I'm in trouble. I think this is a loss here. Without question. Alright, so he's gonna attack with all that. Ooh, boy. He's getting rid of the spike tail, huh? I'm gonna block the spike tail. Let the 2 Archaeomancers go through. Well, I'm pretty positive that I lose this one, because I don't know. I can't win here, and he's gonna get something out that does a lot. He's gonna play a bribery on me. He's gonna search for a creature, throw it into play under his control. Also twin cast it, doubles it. It's another bribery, so he's gonna get 2 of my creatures under his control here. Well, this is a loss to Nephis, no doubt. Starts off with a Phantasm. And then gets a clone. Clones an Archaeomancer, which lets him get back a card. So much utility in that deck that he's playing. Gets another Time Warp and plays a Talrand's Invocation. So I'm super dead this turn. Pretty much absolutely nothing I could do. Now I can mind control one of his things, but what the heck am I doing here? And he doesn't have any more mana to stop it, but I still think he's gonna be all set in terms of getting stuff through. And of course, yeah, he's taking all these extra turns. There's the loss. Okay. All right, next game. This one's over. All right, next game. This time we are against Blitzburg. Ugh. Blitzburg. Some more blue mill action. Let's see what we got here. My turn. I get to play first. Decent opening hand. All 1 cast, but I get to draw a card here. Plus, having this Hedron Crab is really good to start. So we're going to keep this hand and go with an island. First place down the Hedron Crab. 0-2. Whenever land comes into play, target player puts the top 3 cards of his or her library into his or her graveyard. Now it's a land under my control. Also have a Jace's Phantasm. 1/1 flying, gets +4/+4, as long as the opponent has 10 more cards in the graveyard. I'm against Goblin deck, uh-oh. It's gonna be scary here. Got an Unsummon, got a Thought Scour, get to mill 2, I get to draw a card. We'll see how this goes though. Again, Goblin deck. So now I'm gonna throw down the Phantasm, and then what's gonna happen is next turn, I'm going to Mind Sculpt, which will give him 10 cards in the graveyard, make him a 5/5, and huzzah at that point. Yeah, this is good. This is pretty good here. Pretty good start. Again, it's the Goblin deck, so I'm pretty scared, but... Alright, so this is 2/2 that he can tap, sack for 2 damage. Let that go through. I'm gonna Thought Scour him in response. Just as I can. Draw a card, cause him to mill some. And Next turn I'll be hitting him pretty big. He can't attack this turn. Well, I could attack with a 1/1, but I'm just gonna block it. Okay. So I'm just gonna block that. Interesting. Interesting decision there. I don't know why. I don't know what he thought was gonna happen, but whatever. Mill him some. Mind Sculpt him. Makes this a 5/5. All right. There you go, just like that. Now, the question is, do I save it for blocks or do I attack for 5? At this moment, let me attack for 5. Because I really feel this game that if I don't win quick with this, that he's just gonna roll right over me. So, because it is the Goblin deck. Taps 2, Goblin Bushwhacker with Kicker, giving those guys +1. Whatever. Alright, I'm gonna unsummon this guy. See if he chooses to sack it instead, or if he's just gonna take it back to his hand. He's gonna let it go through. He's still swinging for 4. I'm gonna have to let that go through. I don't wanna kill my crab yet. Alright, another one of these. Plus I can into the Royal with Kicker. Bounce a permanent back with Kicker. Now if I play the Phantasm though, next turn is gonna be pretty painful for him. And if I can hold off on this, so we're gonna play the Phantasm this turn. And I could win next turn because of that. So let's see how this works out here. Hit for 5 puts him at 10. Let's see if he can kill one of these off. If he can't kill one of these off this turn, then he's dead next turn. Just like that. Let's see. Gonna play Ember Hauler. What is he gonna do? All right. Nope. What is he doing? Just forfeiting? That must just be a forfeit. I've got a counter. No, that's not a counter spell. I do have into the Royal. All right, so I think that this is just a win here, just like that. Quick win with the mill deck. Doesn't make any sense. Don't know why this is happening. There it is. Well, okay. Time for another game then. That was absurd. Alrighty, next game. This time against Zhao. Can't pronounce that. Sorry. Yeah, I know. I'm an ignorant American. Laugh it up. I play first. Wow, look at that. Solid hand to start too. Let's keep it. J-O. Laugh it up. You know what? You know what's funny too? I'm gonna comment on this now at this point in the video. See if any of the trolls are still watching. I get some people who watch these videos and say, I'm gonna start off with the thought scour against them. Oh, I just watched this to laugh at how bad Force is. Well, congratulations. I'm glad that's how you spend your free time, and I am laughing as well, all the way to the bank. Playing against a green deck this time, I opened up with Thought Scour, causes him to mill 2 cards, and I draw a card. Turn 2, we're actually gonna go straight for the Howling Mine here. Get that right in play, nice and early. You might say, Force, why don't you save for the counterspell? It's so early on, I'm not ultra concerned, so I want to get that in play nice and early. Howling Mine, I didn't give you the time to read. Each player draws an additional card during their untap step. So it goes untap, upkeep, draw, so you draw a card, draw another card. And actually, wait, as if this is untap, each player's draw card, Howling Mine is untapped. Yeah. Okay, beginning of each player's draw step is when it happens. That would obviously make a lot more sense. Zhao is making a decision. He has to get rid of some cards. And I drew into 2. I've got my counterspell rolling. I've got a Mind Sculpt. I've got Stroke of Genius, which is amazing. Target player draws X cards. So good. So good. We could throw down a Mind Sculpt. I could also save for my counterspell. I'm going to hold off on the Mind Sculpt, though, because what I want to do is traumatize and then save these cards for later on. I'm going to let him go, though, while I'm talking you guys through this. So here's the deal. Traumatize takes half of a player's library rounded down and throws it into the graveyard. So if I do that and then do these by the numbers cards, target player puts the top 7 cards into the graveyard, it ends up being a much higher ratio, you know? I make him get rid of a lot more cards if I traumatize him before I do these individual things. Yeah, so that's the game plan there. Now he tapped 3 to play this. Search your library for 2 basic lands. Put them on the battlefield tapped. So he's trying to get lots of mana in play so that he can play some big beefy creatures, which I, you know, fingers crossed there, will counterspell. So. Do you not play that? Search the library for up to 2 basic lands. Put those onto the battlefield tapped. And the other, oh, one into play tapped and the other into your hand. Okay, I see. Gotcha. All right, so I've got 4. Saving for 2. I could Mind Sculpt him, but we don't really want to do that right now. I could also Stroke of Genius. I'm going to hold off on that too. I got 7 cards in hand, so. I'm going to tell him to go. Next turn I can Traumatize him. Which he'll be getting rid of, looks like about 33 cards. Unless he draws into something else this turn. He's gonna try to play that. That is something I am going to counterspell. It's a 2/2. When it attacks, it gets +1/+1 for each force he controls. So that gets pretty scary pretty fast. I am really concerned still though, because I'm gonna Traumatize here, but I'm really concerned about, this will be good. I'm really concerned about what he's gonna play next turn. So hopefully I can get something to deal with it. We're gonna Traumatize, get rid of half of his library, so he's at 66, down to 33 now. So all of a sudden my Mind Sculpt is a lot more effective. Again, if I Mind Sculpt 7 cards from the top of his library, and then Traumatize, that's less, you know. Taking half of that smaller number means less cards disappear, so. Okay, so what is he gonna play this turn? Something scary, he's got 6 mana. My hope is that next turn I draw into something that can deal with it, either by returning it to his hand or I get a Mind Control or something like that. He's gonna play a Nature's Lore, which is letting him get another forest. So he's got something huge. I need to draw into some counter spells here this turn, or some enchant creatures or something. Plays a 4/5, that's threatening enough as is. And plays a 1/1, target creature you control. Fights another target creature. That's pretty huge as well. Okay, so I've got a counter spell here. Good. I've got Visions from Beyond, which I may just play right now. Let's play that. And let me draw 3 cards. Okay, so another Traumatize. Got a Thought Scour, and I think I drew another island as well. So we can save for a counter spell there. I could still Thought Scour and still counterspell next turn. Got another Traumatize, which I could play, which would bring him down to 15 cards. And then next turn, I could hit him for 7 with the Mind Sculpt. Yeah, I'm gonna hold. Oh, gosh, I really feel like I need a hold for a counterspell though. So let me Thought Scour him, which will let me draw a card. And there we go. Got another Mind Sculpt. That's huge. That is huge. All right, so we're gonna say go now. It's at 28 cards. 2 Mind Sculpts is huge. And as long as he doesn't play a Terror Stomper that I can't counter, Terror Stomper can't be countered. Pretty sure that's what it is, anyways. Then I should be able to stop whatever he tries to play this turn. That's going to be big. So I'm going to take at least 5 damage this turn, though. And for some reason the game's like not going to. Okay, there we go. So he's going to try to play this, which I need to counterspell. 2/2 for each forest that he controls. No, thank you. Not going to let him get that. He's down to 25 cards. He's going to hit me for 5. Okay. He hits me for 5. I'm at 15. I need it. All right, let's see here. Jace's in. Okay, whenever I draw a card, he has to mill a card at the same time. I think I can win the turn after this one if I do this. We're gonna Traumatize him. Brings him down to 13 cards. There we go. As long as he doesn't kill me this turn, we win. Pretty sure. Also gonna play down a Jace's Eraser. So next turn I can double Mind Sculpt him, which would get rid of all of his cards. So, whew, Let's see. Does he kill me this turn? Does he somehow get himself back in the game, or are we gonna win? This is a pretty big moment here. Pretty big moment. Okay, plays this. Star Trample. Power and toughness equal to the number of green mana symbols in play. It's a 10/10. But he can't attack with it this turn unless he plays a Lightning Greaves. If he plays a Lightning Greaves, he wins. No, he doesn't. All right, so he plays a 3/2, Trample. This turn he hits me for 5, brings me down to 10. Next turn, I can complete milling him. He goes untap, upkeep, draw. No cards to draw. He loses the game. So we take 5 down to 10. And then we bring it home. Got a counterspell, another Howling Mine. Not that any of that matters. We go Mind Sculpt. Just gonna make this nice and easy. We go Mind Sculpt again. He is out of cards. There's GG. GG, sir. Woohoo! Actually milled someone to death. Didn't think that would happen. Alright, so ladies and gentlemen, well that does it here for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Got a few entertaining games of Magic in there. A couple quick ones which were kind of interesting. You know, actually winning by doing damage with that deck is kind of funny. It's possible, but it's not the primary goal. That's the whole reason I put that card in the deck anyways, just to have that opportunity. And let me just show you here before we wrap up. I'd like to just take a moment just to show you the deck in Deck Manager. Something I'll try to keep doing here, people wonder. Now I'm playing a little heavy here at 63 cards, starting off with the Grindstone there, excellent card. A couple of the Head-Drawn Crabs, these are amazing. Whenever I play land, mill 3 cards of the opponent. Jace's Phantasm won me a couple of games there. Has its purpose, not only as a blocker, but actually an offensive beatdown creature. I mean, getting 10 cards in your opponent's graveyard happens pretty quick, and that's why you can have this huge 1/1 5/5 flying really early on in the game. Prosperity, each player draws X cards. Thought Scour, got a lot of those played. Mill a couple of cards from my opponent, draw a card. Unsummon's awesome, return target creature to owner's hand. Visions of Beyond, it's a draw card. If there are 20 or more cards in any graveyard, I get to draw 3 cards instead. Again, you know, mid to late game, there's gonna be 20 or more cards in my opponent's graveyard, so it's nice to have that. Counterspell's huge, so important. Got a couple Howling Mines here. Into the Royal with Kicker, get to bounce a permanent. The reason this is so crucial for me, I think, is that it's permanent. It's not just a creature, so if there's an artifact or enchantment that's giving you a hard time, you can bounce that back, pay the kicker, you get to draw a card too. This is awesome. Unfortunately, didn't get much of this in play, except for the end of the final game there, but getting this early on is amazing, especially if you have like a Howling Mine in play, or you play a Prosperity. Every time you draw a card, they mill a card. So, you know, that really helps a lot too. Mind Sculpt, awesome, 7 cards. Milled. Dream Fracture, counterspell, but also I get to draw a card, opponent gets to draw a card. Stroke of Genius, didn't come into play, but really good. Clone's awesome, copy target creature. A couple of those. Dreamborn Muse, 4 lands for 2/2, beginning of my upkeep. Target player puts, beginning of a player's upkeep, they put the top X cards of their library into their graveyard. X is the number of cards in their hand. A couple of those. Mind Control, take control of enchanted creature. Traumatize, you saw that come into play, awesome card. Target player puts the top half of his or her library into his or her graveyard. Awesome. And that is the deck. Again, a little bit heavy at 63, but that is the composition that I chose. Got a bunch of those cards that, there's some really good cards here and the available ones as well, but again, this is just what I decided to go with. Thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Stay tuned for more Magic and other great gaming coverage on the channel. And as always, if you like the content, please subscribe, keep watching, and keep owning.